Greetings. Good evening. This is Thursday night. Thank you for joining us with Cooking with Chef Sara Ray. I am Chef Sara Ray. As you notice, I have a different hat on today. This is a celebration of for cancer. I know it's for breast cancer, the color pink, but I think cancer is more than just breast cancer. And this night is a very special night for me. This time last year, on this date, the day last year, but a different date, my father passed away. And my father passed away of cancer as well. So this show here tonight is dedicated to him. Daddy, I love you. We miss you. Your family miss you. Mr. Ray. So I have him surrounding me tonight because I want to celebrate his 1-year anniversary of him becoming what I call my daddy angel. He's always been, and there he is, and him and my mom. He's always been my cheerleader. He's always been my voice of reasoning. He's always been my big supporter. When you got somebody that's cheering you and supporting you and love you. He's always been there for us, and he's always loved his daughters and his grandkids when they came along. So, Mr. Ray, this show is for you. Now I decided to say, okay, what am I going to do for Daddy tonight? My daddy was a very interesting man. He cared for his family. His family was the most important thing to him. But also my daddy loved to eat. But my daddy also put different types of concoctions together. Men have a tendency to put all kinds of food. As long as it's food and the substance, they'll put all kinds of weird things together. To them it's not weird, it's just something to put in their stomachs and they're satisfied. He wasn't picky about what he ate. He encouraged us to start cooking when we were a young age, my sister and I picked it up. That's why I'm standing here today as Chef Sara Ray. So I started cooking at the age of 7 years old, and we were responsible in the household of every other week my sister and I had to cook because my parents was working. So it didn't bother me, so I really got into what was going to be prepared for the week. And bless his heart, when we were 7 years old, you know, a lot of people say they're too young to reach the stove or they might burn themselves. But you teach them responsibilities. You teach them that they will be, as long as they know how to cook, be it male or females, they will always be able to feed themselves, whether you're here or around or have passed on or divorced or moved on. But your children will be able to have responsibilities, not feel rejected and put down. The one thing he never did, and I still laugh about this to this day, he never put us down about whatever we cooked. I told him, I said he always had a cast iron stomach because he always received and ate what we cooked, no matter how horrible it looked or how horrible it may have tasted. If it might have been too greasy, undercooked or whatever, he had this cast iron stomach and he ate it. So that was encouragement to us because he could have really been a person, a type of man that criticized us that, you know, your kids, you don't know how to cook and it's horrible and blah, blah, blah. But my daddy wasn't that type of man. And throughout our lives, and my life, I'm the daddy's girl. Throughout my life, that's why I got him surrounding me today, and I'm celebrating him tonight. I could be crying. I could be boo-hooing my eyes out because it's been a year and we miss him. And I miss him terribly. I miss my big hugs from him. I miss hearing him saying I love you and me telling him I love you. I miss these big sloppy wet kisses that he used to give me. And then he would give me a bear hug, and it was like, oh, this bear hug feel like it just went on forever. But you know what? That bear hug, I embraced it and I stayed in his arms for, seems like forever. It might have been a few minutes or a few seconds. And when you have a parent that passes on and you have that type of relationship and a rapport with them, you miss those big bear hugs. And that last bear hug that I got from him, it was forever because we didn't know that was going to be the last one. So before he left, I told him, I said, you were the best thing that happened to us. And so, like I said, my father liked to make he ate a lot of weird things. But the main thing that he loved to cook for himself, and he taught his oldest granddaughter, was how to make eggs. He would come home in the morning, and he would put his breakfast together, and he would put all kinds of strange things. One thing that would crack me up about my daddy was he would have boiled eggs, and he would put so much pepper and so much hot sauce on the eggs that you forgot what color it was by the time he would finish. And I would just sit there and watch him like, you don't really eat that, huh? Do you know what color the egg's supposed to be? And he just kept putting this stuff on there, and I just looked at him like, well, it's not going to my stomach, so I don't care. So anyway, but that's how he ate his eggs. So tonight, and it's not gonna be a long show, but I'm gonna show you how to make some eggs, some omelets and things too. So we're gonna have a little fun with it. So what I like to do when I do omelets for myself personally at home as well, but I look around and see what I have in my refrigerator or my freezer. I like to buy these seasoned fries, and I put them in the oven. I don't put them in the deep fryer. Or I will have the sweet potato French fries, and I don't fry those either. I put those in the oven. So that way it'll eliminate a lot of the grease. So coming in, let's get started. And I'm gonna get my my French fries started. So I got the oven on. And he would eat these too. And we'll just have fun with it. And I have some turkey bacon. And I'm going to have one side of that, so when the French fries are halfway done, then I'm going to put the turkey bacon on, because it doesn't take us long to cook this turkey bacon. So one of the things that my daddy does, was his favorite things, was he would love cheese omelets. So let's get started making a cheese omelet. He taught my niece how to make a cheese omelet very well. And then I can't begin to tell you all the kind of weird stuff that he would put on that cheese omelet. By the time he got finished with it, I don't know what it was. But he enjoyed it. It didn't seem to bother his stomach. And he just had a good time with it. So, crack your eggs. You can do your eggs two ways, besides mixing them up. Some people that I learned down here, when they make their eggs, they would just crack them and kind of tap them and keep the yolks and whites kind of separate, keep it separated. But in the industry, really, we mix them up. So, have 2 nice eggs. They're large eggs. I buy the all-natural eggs, and when I really have some money to splurge, I'll get those Eggland eggs. They're one of my favorite eggs. So, but tonight isn't the night that I have to splurge. So we have that, and then he loved to put some peppers in there if we had peppers in the house, or if I was at home, sometimes I would make an omelet for him, make omelets for everybody. But that was years ago when I had time. You know, you get busy and time just flies and kind of gets away from you. But tonight I'm in celebration of him. I have 2 different types of peppers. I have yellow and red peppers. And I have a red onion. And I have cheese. And a favorite thing for me to put in my omelets, I love to put tomatoes in my omelets. And then who said that omelets had to be just for breakfast? Because I love having eggs if it's a long night and you're hungry after working all day long and you just want to put a nice quick meal together. This would be it. But you can also add in some spinach, get you some roughage in there, and or make a salad with it and have a nice inexpensive meal. Who said that it always had to be beef and potatoes and vegetables and things? You want it light. So sometimes at night when I come home and I'm hungry after a long day, I'll make an omelet. And that's what my daddy used to do too. After his long days at work, and he would work long hours, he would come home and put him an omelet together. And he was completely content. But he would put some weird stuff in his omelets though. So I'm going to do red onions. And omelets are fun. And this is one way that you can get the kids in the kitchen too. And in that way they don't ever have to go to school on an empty stomach. Because your breakfast just simply means break fast. And then you're breaking that fast up from you not having anything in your stomach from the time you went to bed. If you're sleeping 8 to 9 hours, when you wake up you are hungry. And you can't function. I know I can't function on an empty stomach until 12 noon. So what I have here are my onions and my peppers. So come on, let's have some fun. Let's crack the eggs. Let's make some omelets. Okay, technical difficulties today. I smell it, but it doesn't want to come through. I might have to use the stove tonight. But I was trying to, keep it simple. That's released. This is locked. There we go. I knew it would come together sooner or later. It only takes a second or two. So when you're doing your omelet, you want to make sure that your skillet is hot. And then you can dress your omelet up any way you see fit. 2 ways that you can do an omelet. Celebration of you, Daddy. You can put all your ingredients in your skillet, especially your vegetables. You want to make sure that those vegetables are done. So you will put in a little bit of oil. Get it hot. So you don't need a lot. Thing that you don't want your eggs to do is swimming in oil. To me, that is the grossest thing that I can possibly have, is my eggs swimming in all that grease. It doesn't look good. You have these grease pockets by the time you're finished with it, and it truly doesn't taste good. It's just horrible. So I love cooking eggs. Eggs was one of my favorites. Maybe because I was watching my daddy do it too, I didn't think about it. But now, so I'm going to put my peppers, my vegetables in here. Normally you'll get that sizzle. So we're going to let that get hot for a minute. Let that saute. And just let it do its thing. So here it's sizzling now. My french fries are not even close. So we're going to make a couple of omelets and have fun with this. You put cheese in there. The thing about the cheese is, you don't add it first, of course. You always have to put it in at the end. So I want this to saute, and I want this to get transparent. And make sure that you have, this is my omelet skillet. I don't use this skillet for anything except my eggs. And I don't like anybody to use this skillet because I only use it for my eggs. Because people have a tendency, especially when you have guests over your house, they have a tendency to start grabbing forks. I need just a touch more of oil, just a little bit. They start grabbing forks and messing up your Teflon pan. And I'm very funny about my omelet pans because I want to be able to keep them in a nice shape. And you don't even have to put this in water. You just wipe it out. Okay, so see how these vegetables got done quickly? Now the art of making an omelet. Get it all in there. And we'll make a few more. Let's make a variety. Now this is the American omelet. There's different types of omelets. There's a French omelet and the American style omelet. But there's different types of toppings that you can make an omelet with. So this American omelet is simply take it and move it around because you want to be able to get your eggs underneath what's already has set up. So just tilt it and let it find its way like a river or a stream, find its way in an opening. And let that sit for a minute. The one thing I don't like overcooked eggs. I don't like them brown or burnt. So I think a pretty egg, so you want to make sure that your skillet is not very high and hot. Move it around. So when you see that it's moving around, you're ready to flip it. One of my favorite things to do. That's a little brown, so I'm going to have to turn this down. But I'm going to add in some cheese. Do a variety of cheese. As long as my outside, if you want to camouflage something, yeah, this is too hot. I like pretty eggs. This would be considered a done egg. In my eyes, it would be a little burnt. But that's okay. Let's go play with another egg. A different type of egg. So now, I'm going to turn my skillet on. You notice how I wipe that out? I do not want to put this in water. So now, I'm going to do a cheese omelet. And do the same thing, the same way. Had to tap it. They're making these eggs where they're not easy, they're not so breakable. They're not easily broken. My skillet is hot. Now this time I have one with, I love onions. I'll do one with some onions. Let's get some onions in there. Peppers are healthy for you. Onions are good for you. And that's the wonderful thing about it. Eggs are good for you. Swirl that around a little bit. Pour this back in there because I have a little bit too much oil. And that's about the right amount that I want. About an ounce to half an ounce. So I'm going to pick through this because all I want is onions. Yeah, hear that sizzling sound? I love that. So onions and cheese. So my daddy would come home and make his omelets, cheesy omelets, whatever. He would do bologna omelets, whatever we had in the house. With his cast iron stomach, he didn't care. He just enjoyed it, and he enjoyed eating. And he also enjoyed my food. He enjoyed my mother's food too, of course. Don't get me wrong. But he enjoyed it, and it was an encouragement for me. Because when somebody's around you and it's always negative speaking, you're not going to grow. And that wasn't one of the things that he did. All the positive thoughts and feelings that you have about yourself stems from your parents. That's what happened in my household. So, and we was very fortunate to have this man in our lives. So, Daddy, kudos to you for doing a well job with your children. And a well job with your grandchildren. So here's another egg, another omelet to you. And I made him an omelet when we went back down to Florida for him. Okay, now flip it over. Nah, see, that's a prettier omelet. It's not as dark. That's where I like my omelets. I don't like them that color. So the first ones, when you try it, it's going to come out like that, and that's okay. Somebody will eat it. They'll enjoy it. But the second ones, the more you make an omelet, the comfortable you'll get with it, the prettier it looks. I just love pretty eggs. And I know that for myself and other people who are egg eaters, they're real particular about their eggs. So omelet number 2. Monty, what kind of egg, what kind of omelet you want? I'm on a roll now.
Whatever you cooking.
So now let me check out. Let's see where the French fries are. Then I'll put the turkey bacon on. Take that off there for a minute. Yes. Aren't those lovely? Nice and golden. So like I stated, who said that it just had to be for breakfast all the time? Besides, it's morning somewhere on this planet. So, I like turkey bacon, and I like butterballs bacon. And I'm just going to put a couple of strips. The thing about this is, there's no fat. So I don't have a problem. It's not cross-contaminating because it's not touching the fries. And by the time this bacon is ready, we'll be ready. So this would be something that I would eat, and this definitely would be something that my daddy would eat. And keep it moving. I don't feel like heavy food tonight anyway. I just don't want to be sad. I just want to celebrate. I just want to celebrate my daddy being a daddy angel. And so now let's see. I want a cheese omelet. I'm going to make the cheese omelet this time. And celebrate my dad. So he encouraged me. The one cool thing that my father encouraged me about was he told me never forget my dreams. If I have something that I want to do, make sure I accomplish it. Try not to make as many decisions that's not going to turn out to your favor as less as possible. One thing that he said to me many years ago was, don't forget about your dream to go to Paris. And after he said that to me, I got on the stick. and started planning and trying to make it happen to get to Paris, France. And the first year I did it, it didn't come out correctly because it was some things that was taking place on the other side of the pond, as they say. But I still never forgot it, and those encouraging words really helped me. So 2 people really helped me get to Paris, France, as far as their encouraging words were concerned. Is my daddy, not to forget, and believe it or not, Julia Childs. She was an encouragement as well too. So you have yourself surrounded by encouraging people, and you know how blessed you really are. Those small, simple words. Keep going. Don't forget. Find a way to make it come to fruition for you. They didn't use the words like make it happen or kind of demanding kind of words. They were encouraging words. So everything is coming together. Make the cheese omelet. I like good to the last drop. Make it nice and fluffy. Just kind of wipe that off. Get that off of there. So this is how you make a nice omelet. Nice pretty omelet. Like I said, the first one is not going to come out to the way you like it. But you keep trying at it. Just like in life, we have to keep going. No matter what comes our way. In the celebration of you, Daddy, I thank you. I love you. I miss hearing your voice. But you will always be with me. Always. So here's his favorite. His absolute favorite was a cheesy omelet. Cheese, cheese, and a lot of cheese. Cheese, cheese, and more cheese is what he would do. And he would have hot sauce. I don't need hot sauce. Black pepper. And that was his favorites. So, with that said, I told you it's going to be a short show tonight. Join us at the after show. We're going to enjoy these omelets. And I just want to say that celebrate the person that has been in your life. Encourage them. This is for you, Mr. Ray. I'm not going to put his name out there. This is for my daddy in celebration of his 1-year anniversary of him becoming a daddy angel. Thank you, Daddy. I love you. I miss you. And all I can ever just say is thank you for the love that you gave us, and he always loved us. So with that note, you're going to join us for the after show. This is his anniversary, and this is for him. So, for your loving daughter, Sara. See, tonight I'm not Chef Sara Ray. I'm Sara, this man's daughter. Thank you. Join us at the after show.